we are giving such persons or individuals to the end of this month, October, to revert back to the original uses. Otherwise, from November 1st, they should consider such properties as revoked and to be returned back to FCT administration.
So far, the department says it has identified more than 100 cases of land use conversion in respect of the sold houses within the capital city. He, however, appealed to property owners to take note and do the needful by maximizing this window provided. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, talking a bit on security, the Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC, in its pledge of bridging the gap between members of the public and the police in the area of re-echoing the need for security consciousness, has put together an enlightenment seminar. Asibe Williams reports that the one-day seminar brought together heads of security agencies in the FCT to chart a way forward.
This gathering of stakeholders in the security sector with one voice as saying that the fight against insecurity in the nation remains crucial, as no society can thrive with insecurity. With a high rate of crime, there is need for the public to be vigilant, especially in the communities, as harboring of strangers poses threats, which is why this collaboration becomes necessary.
We police, we cannot do it alone. We must collaborate with members of the public and particularly with members of the PCRC. We are always working together with them to fight crime and criminality in Nigeria and FCT in particular.
Convener of the seminar and the chairman PCRC FCT chapter says, although the situation can be overwhelming sometimes, being patriotic by reporting suspicious activities can assist in stemming the tide.
It's a call for police to be more active and watch out for those flashpoints. We don't want those flashpoints to exist, and we also believe that PCRC members will work closely with the police to make sure those flashpoints are eliminated. Not just the flashpoint, we're talking about the issue of one chance, kidnapping, and some other vices being committed within the police, within the FCT. We don't want those places to exist anymore.
We are here to do what we need to do the right thing, and get it right. We must ensure that we have to help the police get it right by ensuring information gets where it's supposed to.
The seminar provided a platform for knowledge, especially of new trends by criminals, so as to equip the public to safeguard themselves. In Abuja, Asibe Williams, NTA News.
A 2022 National Bureau of Statistics Multidimensional Poverty Index survey indicates that 63% of persons living within Nigeria are multidimensionally poor. This, however, has attracted government concern as different policies and programs are targeted at addressing this concern. A cross-section of residents of Abuja implores the government to work harder to address this concern.
The issue of poverty in Nigeria is a very serious issue. I think what we now have is called multidimensional poor people in Nigeria, stretching over 100 million people. And whatever program, all the programs the government have always put in place are such that they are far fetched from reality. It does not meet the need of the people. For instance, this cash transfer they are talking about does not actually get to the very poor people. Eventually, it will be the politicians who is going to hijack it. So how can you take out of over 100 million people, you take just about 16 million people, like I said, you are lifting them out of, you're not even lifting them out of poverty, just assisting them for a period of 6 months or so, and said you have done anything. After 6 months, what's happened to them? So they will come back to become more poorer by the time they look at the situation they find themselves. So for me, what the government should actually do in order to reduce this poverty in Nigeria is to make sure that they create an enabling environment for people to be able to invest.
What they call capacity building. They need to empower the populace. They need to empower Nigeria youth. And how do you empower Nigeria youth? For you to empower Nigeria, you need to train them, get hard work. Those ones when say they go school, because I know majority of Nigeria graduates are non-employable. Why? Because waiting they go school say they go do. They go school, many of them go school say just because they want go school, not because they want do anything. Maybe they say I'll be graduate. Now majority of them go school. And we need to go back to technical education so that they will get hard work. They go learn hard work. And when they don't learn hard work, when I say capacity building, the government go give them waiting to take start. Even they say they don't want to give them money. They feel buy them things where they go take start up.
Seriously, we really need help because a lot of people are really passing through hell. But I believe that we just have to just give the government some time to settle because I feel it's not really long. It's almost like 3 months now or 4 months, but I believe with time things will get better because they are giving people an appointment, and I believe that with time they will ratify this issue in which it will motivate the youth to do the right thing because a lot of atrocities are happening here and there, and our belief is that if the government should consider the poor and carry them along.
If government should come to our aid, they should increase the salary, and the ones in the grassroots, they are not finding it funny too. Things are very expensive now that in fact some people cannot even put a 1 square meal now to feed. So many things have gone wrong. If the government will come to, they should raise funds, raise people that will go to the grassroots, the way they are going into palliative. Let them raise people that will bring food. In fact, food is very important. They should bring food. They should make sure that the food get to the grassroots, not to assign somebody, okay, this is the money. Before you know, the person will just scan with the money and then nothing will be done. They should make sure that there is a strong policy that will make the people in the grassroots to benefit too.
Well, I want to agree with some of the views out there of a cross-section of FCT residents bearing their mind on our topic of discussion. And at this moment, I'm being joined by one person that understands this topic very well. And we're privileged to have in our studio today the the Director of Programs and Deputy Country Director, Action Aid. We have Suwaiba Mohammed Dankabu. You're welcome to our studio, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers.
Okay, well, this is one topic straight away I would want us to delve into. We just got the views of a cross-section of FCT residents who are Nigerians too. Let's put in perspective for the understanding of all. When we say poverty, what are we talking about?
Okay, so defining poverty will have to come from different perspectives because when a person is living or doesn't have the capacity to earn and spend up to 2,000 naira per day, is considered to be poor. That is economically. But then the non-economic aspect of poverty has to do with the capacity to access basic social services, issues around education, healthcare, hunger, that is food and housing. And you can see that 133 million Nigerians are living below poverty line, as just been presented to the statistics recently. A lot has been done, and a country is also poor when the GDP is not translating into the ability of the country to take care of the food security of the nation, basic infrastructure, and so on. And so we have witnessed a lot of programs by government, and then us complementing the government as non-governmental organization, all trying to deal with the issue of poverty. And as people have said, the progress have been made. For instance, we have witnessed some steady growth up to like 2010 from the previous government, maybe intervention like Green Revolution, Better Life of Rural Women, family support, back to land, now social investment programs, and so on. On our own part, we have worked tremendously in the rural areas, targeting the real poor in the hard-to-reach communities, and then working with them to identify the real causes of poverty and then respond appropriately. However, the growth has been, met with a lot of challenges. when you look at it from 2010, when you have the steady growth, we are seeing some changes in socioeconomic status. Young people are getting employed. Suddenly, we now hit into recession, and then the falling prices of oil now determine the capacity of government to provide these social services. So even when you do economic empowerment for people, their capacity and their purchasing power will not be enough or will not match the level of demand within the economy and the value chain. If I produce, even if I have the power to produce and sell, if I take the money to the market, it's not enough to buy anything that I need as for my basic necessity. On the other hand, the government is unable to provide the basic social services like healthcare, education, and then food security is also dwindling. And so those become very, very challenging.
I interject at this moment now. Is the average Nigerian poor, if I may ask this question?
Average Nigerian is poor because look at the multidimensional aspect. I am employed, you are employed, but ask yourself, you have gone to the market 2 years back and you are going to the market today. How are you using the same amount of money? And then the inflation has eaten off everything. So average Nigeria is poor because if you look at the statistics, out of 200 Nigerians, we are looking at 200 million Nigerians, we are looking at 133 million in poverty. And out of that, 97% of these people are living in abject poverty. Meaning there's absolute lack of basic amenities. The issues around climate change is also complementing the whole process. And then the inflation, you can't go to the market and buy food. People, like I just said, and I really collaborate with what they are saying, it's difficult for people to survive. And children in particular are unable to get the relevant education. Farmers that produce food, especially women, put the food we eat on the table. But insecurity has now, stopped everybody from going to the farms. Now the production has, dwindled. It's no longer what it used to be. So because of insecurity and the little that people can do within the little means that they have, it's not enough to take them to the market.
Okay, with the statistics staring us on the face, successive governments have come up with different programs to alleviate poverty. As we speak, the present government is also not resting on it, or at least we just recently, within the week, we saw the president through the SGF launching a poverty alleviation program to support the poor. Would you say these programs are actually alleviating the poverty we're talking about?
Programs well intended, well designed from the table, from the presidency, but there's no coordination between the states or from the federal government to the state and then tracking it down. It does not trickle down to the poor. Why? There's no targeting. We don't have baseline data to say who are the poor in Nigeria. So when the capital or the money or the funds are allocated, you are not sure how much is disbursed. Nobody is giving us that statistics, the information. And then when it's reached to the states, if we are facing the federal government, what the federal government is doing, what is the plan. But there is no structure on ground, milestone to say from here, from step 1 to step 2, this is what the changes we are going to see. From the number of people in poverty in Nigeria, they talk about social register. That register exists, yes, but it's not updated. Nobody knows how it is, how it's being populated. When other countries want to eradicate poverty, they do it as a business. If we take the example of China, for instance, they use the structures of the political party systems that reaches the grassroots. You and I know that when it comes to voting, there's no nook and corners of Nigeria that you don't find the polling units. So if you want to eradicate poverty, go through the same process, but then also track corruption that goes with it, track the inconsistency.
Okay, sorry, I would want us to. I want to ask this question, which is important because I think time is beginning to give us signal. Now, government on its part is doing its own bit. So, how would you say the civil societies or NGOs are also complementing in pragmatic terms?
Actually, Nigeria is one of the civil society organizations. If I give one example, we try to initiate a new strategy by strategic partnerships. If all the organizations who have mandate for poverty eradication will play their role in a particular state and a community, can we eradicate poverty? We piloted that with Smeden, and that report can come in very soon. But what I'm saying is that what I want to bring out to the public is that non-governmental organizations are only playing complementary role with funding that is brought from donors. Nigeria has enough resources to eradicate poverty if we have the willpower, and then eradicate corruption, and then people becomes honest and accountable to the service of people, and then to the mandate that they are assigned to do. Non-governmental organizations, from the CBOs, community-based organizations, to the non-governmental organizations, human rights organizations, we do a lot of work. Some are looking at it around the economic bit, that is the financial, loan schemes and others, even though we have questioned some of the microfinance process that charges interest that is unreasonable. But then we are also looking at the capacity of the people. When we go into the communities, we really identify with the people, but there is need to bring in the data and statistics to align what government is doing, what non-governmental organizations are doing, which record recognizes these changes, and then where are we together?
We must thank you at this moment, and we appreciate your thoughts and discussion on this program. And I think we'll look for more time to bring you so that we'll talk more on this topic. I think it's inexhaustive. I must thank you at this juncture.
Thank you for having me.
NTA Channel 5 Abuja News at 7 p.m. Saturday Discourse. We'll be going on a short break. When we return, the news continues.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
Jama'a barkanmu da wannan
The Niti Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Now talking sports now, Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons has joined the international body to celebrate this year's United Nations International Day of Older Persons. Gideon Yohana reports.
When it comes to physical activity or contest, the young stands a better chance. Well, this case was different as the older generation had the day. The essence of the celebration is to prioritize the need for care to be given to the older persons in the society.
At 75, we are playing with people who are probably 30 and 40, and they begin now to think about older persons. Well, the essence of it, one, is to create awareness on the plight of older persons. Two, to showcase the fact that older persons are still useful to the society and themselves. We are trusting that the efforts of our NGOs, CSOs, and stakeholders, the government ratifying the AU Convention on the Rights of Older Persons, will soon materialize.
Partakers of the noble initiative called on government to ensure the bills for the rights of older persons are signed into law, while encouraging the young generation to support older people.
Children to also know that by their following their parents often, it gives them strength to continue living, and the joy is there. When you are aging starts from the leg. So for exercising your leg, the whole body exercises. So it's good to do exercise.
When you are old and you see young people playing, you can just come in, join them. It's another form of exercise, and it keeps you very healthy.
If you want to get old, you have to take care of the old. I mean, it's only natural.
And so I enjoin every one of us here to, as much as we can, reach out to them, our parents, our friends, even persons who are strangers to us but have attained a certain age.
At the end of the intergenerational march, Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons, Kosropin FC, won Phantom Football Club 5-4. In Abuja, Gideon Yohana, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Brief.
The Moroccan club, Wydad Athletic Club, have arrived Uyo for Sunday's African Football League quarter-final clash against Enyimba. The players and the officials arrived the Victor Atta International Airport Friday night. The Red Devils will train at the Godswill Apabio International Stadium Saturday afternoon, while the reverse fixture is slated for Casablanca on Wednesday, October 25. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football has released the official match schedule for the 2023 African Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles of Nigeria under coach Jose Pacero have been drawn into Group A alongside tournament hosts Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea. The much-anticipated tournament, marking the 34th edition of the biggest sporting event on the African continent, is set to run from January 13 to February 11, 2024. To tennis, Rafael Nadal has said that his earliest realistic option to return to professional tennis will be the Australian Open. He, however, disclosed that he is currently still in pain while training. When training, with Sports Brief, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Thanks for watching Saturday Discourse for this week. We have to go now. I remain Abdullah here. Be vigilant and be patriotic. Good evening.